Once upon a time in the peaceful kingdom of Udum, there lived a young girl named Nena. Nena was no ordinary girl, she was a small witch, but not in the way most people think of witches. She was kind-hearted, gentle, and loved by all in her village for her healing powers and ability to speak to animals. Despite her gifts, Nena kept to herself, living in a little cottage at the edge of the enchanted forest. She spent her days helping villagers in need, tending to her garden of magical herbs, and conversing with the creatures of the forest. But there was one thing Nena had always dreamed of, meeting the Prince of Udum, a young man she had heard many stories about. The prince, named Afani, was known for his bravery and fairness. He was loved by the people, just like Nena. However, he had never ventured into the enchanted forest, as it was rumored to be full of dark magic and dangerous creatures. But Afani was curious, and one day, he decided to explore the forest, eager to discover its secrets. As he rode deeper into the forest, he noticed how the atmosphere began to change. The trees grew taller and thicker, and the light barely pierced through the dense canopy. Suddenly, his horse stopped, refusing to go further. It was then that Afani saw a small, glowing light in the distance. He decided to follow it, leaving his horse behind. The light led him to a small, cozy cottage surrounded by vibrant flowers and plants that seemed to glow with their own inner light. He cautiously approached the door and knocked. To his surprise, a small girl with bright, curious eyes opened it. She was Nena, the small witch he had heard whispers about in the village. "Welcome, Prince Afani," Nena greeted him with a smile. "I've been expecting you." The prince was taken aback. "You know who I am?" Nena nodded. "The animals told me you were coming. They're my friends, you see." Afani was intrigued and, despite his initial hesitation, he felt a sense of calm in Nena's presence. She invited him inside, and they talked for hours. Nena shared stories of the forest, and Afani told her about life in the palace. They discovered they had much in common, especially their love for the people of Udum. As the sun began to set, Afani realized he had to return to the palace. But before he left, Nena gave him a small charm made from the herbs in her garden. "Keep this with you, and it will protect you from harm," she said with a smile. The prince thanked her and promised to visit again. True to his word, Afani often returned to the enchanted forest to spend time with Nena. Over time, their friendship blossomed into something more. One day, the kingdom of Udum faced a great threat. A neighboring kingdom, jealous of Udum's prosperity, declared war. The people were terrified, and the king was desperate for a way to protect his land. When Afani heard the news, he knew there was only one person who could help. He rode to Nena's cottage and explained the situation. Nena, though small and gentle, was also wise and powerful. She agreed to help, but she warned Afani that the solution would not be easy. With Nena's guidance, Afani led the soldiers of Udum to the battlefield, armed not just with weapons, but with the magical protection Nena had provided. The enemy was fierce, but Nena's magic was stronger. She cast spells that confused and disoriented the invaders, causing them to flee in fear. When the battle was over, the people of Udum celebrated their victory. They praised Afani for his bravery and cunning, but he gave all the credit to Nena. He brought her to the palace, where the king, grateful for her help, offered her a place in the royal court. But Nena, humble as always, declined the offer. She preferred the peace of her cottage in the forest. However, she accepted a different proposal that Afani made, to be his wife and queen. Together, Nena and Afani ruled Udum with kindness and wisdom. Nena continued to use her magic to help the people, and Afani ensured that the kingdom remained a place of peace and prosperity. The enchanted forest became a symbol of the bond between them, and the people of Udum lived happily ever after, always knowing that their small witch queen and her prince would protect them.